There's something unsettling about staying in somebody else's house. Different sounds, different rooms, different locks. But the scariest part about Airbnbs is this. You never really know who had access before you arrived. Hidden cameras, strange messages from hosts, things moving late at night. And sometimes, the person watching the house never actually left. These are 3 Airbnb horror stories that felt a little too real. Story 1, 4:17 a.m. I booked the Airbnb because it was cheap. That should have been the warning sign, honestly. The place sat about 20 minutes outside a small town while I was traveling for work. Nothing around it except trees and empty roads. The listing looked normal enough though. Good reviews, clean photos, quiet location, perfect for a couple nights. The owner messaged me the entry code a few hours before I arrived. No problems. Even when I pulled into the driveway, nothing looked strange. Just an old countryside house with one porch light on. The inside actually looked better than the photos. Modern kitchen, large living room, 2 bedrooms upstairs. Quiet. Too quiet maybe. The first weird thing I noticed was the clocks. The microwave clock read 4:17. The oven clock read 4:17. Even the old analog clock hanging in the hallway had stopped at exactly 4:17. I remember laughing slightly to myself. Probably power cuts or dead batteries. Didn't think much of it. Then I checked my phone. 8:42 p.m. I dropped my bags upstairs and started settling in. That uneasy feeling started building slowly after about an hour. Not fear, just discomfort. The house felt strangely untouched, like nobody had stayed there in a while despite the recent reviews. Then around midnight, I noticed another clock upstairs. 4:17. Stopped too. Same exact time. That was the point where it actually started feeling weird. I walked through the house checking them now. Kitchen clock, hallway clock, bedroom alarm clock. Every single one frozen at 4:17. Even worse. Some of them weren't even blinking like dead electronics usually do. They were just stuck. Like time had stopped suddenly. I tried ignoring it. Watched YouTube in bed for a while. Eventually fell asleep. Then I woke up to a loud creaking noise somewhere downstairs. My eyes adjusted slowly to the darkness. The bedroom felt freezing cold now. I grabbed my phone immediately. 4:17 a.m. My stomach tightened slightly, because I didn't remember setting an alarm. Then came another noise downstairs. A slow dragging sound across the floor. I sat there listening carefully. Silence. Then footsteps. Slow footsteps moving through the kitchen below me. My chest tightened instantly. I thought somebody broke in. I grabbed my phone flashlight and quietly opened the bedroom door. Dark hallway outside. Complete silence again. I remember whispering hello, like an idiot. No response. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. At the end of the hallway, the analog clock hanging near the stairs was moving. Tick, tick, tick. Second hand slowly moving now. The only clock in the house actually working. I stared at it frozen. The hands moved once more. 4:18. And the moment it changed, every light downstairs turned on at once. My entire body went cold. Bright yellow light flooded up the staircase from below. Then I heard movement again. Slow footsteps crossing the kitchen. My heart was pounding now. I stepped closer to the stairs carefully and looked down. Nobody there. Kitchen empty. Living room empty. But one chair near the dining table had been pulled out, facing directly toward the stairs. Toward me. Then my phone buzzed in my hand. Airbnb host. Everything okay downstairs? I froze instantly, because there was absolutely no way he should have known I was awake. I stared at the message trying to think logically. Maybe cameras outside. Maybe motion sensors. Still creepy though. I didn't reply. Another message arrived almost immediately. You should try to sleep before 4:17 again. My chest tightened hard. I typed back instantly. What does that mean? No response. Then somewhere downstairs, a floorboard creaked loudly, right beneath me. I backed away from the staircase immediately. Every instinct screamed not to go downstairs. Then came the sound that genuinely terrified me. A voice. Quiet. Male. From downstairs. Wrong room. I ran back into the bedroom and locked the door instantly. Heart hammering now. Then slowly, the bedroom alarm clock beside the bed flickered on by itself. Bright red numbers glowing in the darkness. 417. And underneath the numbers, new letters slowly appeared across the screen. Check the closet. I didn't move. Couldn't. Then the closet door beside the bed creaked softly. Just a little. Opening by itself. And from inside the darkness, something shifted. Story 2. The vent. There were 4 of us staying at the Airbnb. Me, Adam, Yusuf, and Marcus. Just a weekend trip before university started again. Nothing deep. We found the place online because it was cheap and looked decent enough for 4 people. Big house. Modern interior. Good reviews. The listing kept advertising how private it was. That word started feeling different later. The house itself looked normal when we arrived. 2 floors. Quiet neighborhood. No nearby houses close enough to really see us. At first the trip was calm. We ordered food, played games, watched movies, normal stuff. The weird part didn't start until the first night. Around 2 a.m., Marcus paused mid-conversation and looked toward the hallway ceiling. You hear that? We all stopped talking. At first I thought it was just the air conditioning. Then I heard it too. A soft crackling sound coming from the vent above the hallway. Not loud. Almost like whispering buried underneath static. Adam laughed immediately. Bro, this place definitely haunted. Nobody really cared at first. But later that night, I went downstairs alone to get water and heard the sound again. Closer this time. The vent above the kitchen. Static. Then what sounded like breathing. I remember standing there staring upward trying to listen properly. Then the sound stopped completely. Silence. I went back upstairs without saying anything. The next morning Yusuf brought something up during breakfast. Did anyone else hear talking last night? That made the room go quiet immediately. Because none of us had mentioned it yet. Marcus nodded slowly. Thought it was you lot. We all kinda laughed it off after that. But the atmosphere felt different now. Less relaxed. That night things got worse. Around midnight we were all downstairs watching a movie when the TV audio suddenly cut out for a second. Just silence. Then through the vent above us, a voice whispered, "Bedroom 2." Clear as day. Marcus muted the TV instantly. All 4 of us stared upward. Nobody spoke for about 5 seconds. Then Adam forced out an awkward laugh. Yeah, now someone's messing with us. He grabbed a chair and climbed up to check the vent. Nothing there. Just darkness inside the duct. But when he climbed back down, his expression looked different. Bro. What? There's a light in there. My stomach tightened slightly. We all looked at each other now. Adam grabbed his phone flashlight and climbed back up. He pointed the light into the vent for a few seconds, then suddenly froze. What? He slowly climbed back down holding something in his hand. A tiny black object, about the size of a coin. My chest dropped instantly when I realized what it was. A camera. Nobody spoke. Marcus grabbed it immediately. Tiny lens in the center. Small battery attached. Hidden inside the vent. My stomach genuinely turned. Then Yusuf quietly said, "Check the other rooms." We searched the house properly after that, and found more. One in the upstairs hallway vent. One facing the living room. One hidden near the kitchen shelf. Every single one small enough that we never would have noticed normally. Marcus immediately called the Airbnb host. Straight to voicemail. Again. Voicemail. No answer. That's when panic properly kicked in. Because suddenly every moment inside that house felt wrong. Every conversation. Every joke. Every time we changed clothes upstairs. Someone could have been watching all of it. Then Adam noticed something worse. The cameras were warm, like they'd been running recently. We decided to leave immediately. Didn't even argue about it. Marcus started packing upstairs while I waited near the front door. That's when the hallway speaker activated suddenly. Static burst loudly through the house, making all of us jump. Then a male voice calmly said, "Please stop removing them." My stomach dropped instantly, because none of us had seen any speakers inside the house before. The voice continued, "You're damaging property." Marcus came downstairs immediately holding his bag. "Bro, let's geo." The speaker crackled again. Then, bedroom 2 missed one. All 4 of us froze, because Yusuf had been staying in bedroom 2. Nobody moved for a second. Then Yusuf quietly said, "I didn't leave anything upstairs." The voice answered immediately, "Yes, you did." That was enough. We grabbed everything and headed straight for the front door. But when Marcus pulled the handle, locked, wouldn't open. My chest tightened hard instantly. Adam tried next. Nothing. Then the hallway speaker crackled again. "You should have just ignored the vents." I genuinely started panicking then. Marcus started yelling at whoever was talking. No response. Just static. Then footsteps echoed upstairs. Slow footsteps. Moving across the hallway ceiling above us. Not normal footsteps either. Too heavy somehow. Like someone dragging weight slowly across the floor. My entire body went cold, because nobody else was upstairs. Then came another sound. A metallic rattling noise inside the vents. Moving. Getting closer. The speaker crackled again. He found bedroom 2. Yusuf looked genuinely terrified now. Then from the vent above the staircase, something tapped softly from inside. 3 slow taps. Tap. 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 Marcus finally forced the front door open after practically shoulder checking it. We ran straight outside. None of us stopped moving until we reached the car. I remember looking back toward the house once before getting in. One upstairs curtain moved slightly, like someone standing behind it, watching us leave. We reported everything to AirBnB and the police the next morning. The cameras were gone by the time investigators checked the house. Every single one. The host account disappeared too. Deleted completely. Like it never existed. But Marcus still swears there was one thing he saw upstairs before we left. Near the vent above bedroom 2. Something pale pressed against the darkness inside the duct, watching him through the gap. Story 3. The host kept watching. I booked the Airbnb for a week because I needed somewhere quiet to work. That was literally the only reason. I'd been doing freelance editing remotely, and my apartment building was unbearable at night. Constant noise. Neighbors arguing. Cars outside. So I rented a small cabin-style Airbnb about 40 minutes outside the city. The listing looked perfect. Quiet location. Fast Wi-Fi. Private stay. The host seemed friendly too. A woman named Claire. She messaged me right after booking. "Let me know if you need anything." Smiley face. Normal enough. The cabin itself looked amazing when I arrived. Small. Modern. Surrounded by woods. At first everything felt peaceful. Too peaceful maybe. The first weird message came around an hour after I checked in. "Claire, glad you settled in okay." I frowned slightly reading it, because I never told her I arrived yet. I figured maybe the app notified hosts automatically. Didn't think much of it. Then 10 minutes later another message appeared. "Hopefully the upstairs shower pressure is better now." That made me pause, because I had literally just used the upstairs shower, like 5 minutes earlier. Still, I convinced myself she was probably talking about old complaints from guests. That explanation lasted until dinner. I was cooking pasta in the kitchen when my phone buzzed again. "Claire, don't forget the pan gets very hot." My stomach tightened slightly, because at that exact moment I'd almost grabbed the pan without an oven glove. I stared at the message for a second too long, then replied, "How did you know I was cooking?" No response. About 20 minutes later she finally answered, "Lucky guess LOL. That should have reassured me. Instead it made things worse. That night I started noticing little things around the cabin. A smoke detector pointed strangely toward the living room. A tiny blinking light near the bookshelf. The uneasy feeling built slowly after that. Around midnight, I decided I was being paranoid. People online always talk about hidden cameras in Airbnbs. Most of the time it's nonsense. I tried ignoring it. Then my phone buzzed again. "Claire, you should close the curtains at night." My chest tightened instantly, because I was standing beside the window when the message arrived. I looked outside immediately. Pitch black woods. Nothing there. But suddenly the cabin didn't feel private anymore. It felt exposed. I walked around checking every room after that. Nothing obvious. No cameras. No microphones. Eventually I went upstairs trying to sleep. Around 2 a.m. I woke up thirsty and checked my phone. One new message. "Claire, you snore sometimes." My entire body went cold. I sat upright, instantly staring at the screen. There was absolutely no way she should know that. None. I typed back immediately. "Are there cameras in this house?" Seen. No reply. Then another message appeared. "Only for safety." My stomach dropped hard. I jumped out of bed immediately and started checking everything properly now. Smoke detectors. Wall clocks. Shelves. Then I noticed something near the bedroom mirror. A tiny reflection inside a black screw head. Lens. Hidden perfectly inside the wall decoration facing the bed. My chest genuinely tightened. I unscrewed it shaking. Small hidden camera. Still warm. I felt sick instantly. Then my phone buzzed again. "You weren't supposed to find that one yet." I grabbed my bag immediately. Didn't care about anything else. I just wanted out. But while rushing downstairs, another message appeared. "Please don't leave." Then another. "You haven't seen the downstairs ones." Every light in the cabin suddenly shut off. Complete darkness. I froze halfway down the stairs. Then somewhere downstairs. A soft buzzing sound. Like electronics activating. Tiny red dots slowly appeared across the darkness below me. One by one. Hidden camera recording lights. My chest felt tight instantly. Kitchen. Living room. Hallway. Watching every angle. Then a voice suddenly echoed softly through the cabin speakers. Not loud. Calm. "You looked better asleep." I ran. Straight for the front door. Hands shaking so badly I nearly dropped my phone trying to unlock it. Then another message came through. "Don't check the woods." I opened the door anyway. Cold air hit instantly. And for 1 second I actually felt relief. Until I looked toward the trees surrounding the cabin. Small red lights glowed faintly between the branches. Dozens of them. Like cameras hidden throughout the woods. Pointed directly toward the house. Toward me. I got in my car and drove without even packing properly. Didn't stop driving until I reached the main road. The police investigated the property the next day. Nobody answered there. No host. No cameras. Nothing. The entire cabin was almost empty. Like nobody had stayed there in years. Airbnb removed the listing within hours. But sometimes late at night, I still get notifications from random unknown accounts. No profile picture. No name. Just one message every few months. New cameras installed. Some places don't feel wrong immediately. Sometimes the fear starts quietly. A strange message. A sound inside the vent. A camera you weren't supposed to notice. And once you realize somebody's been watching the entire time, the house never feels empty again. There are more stories like this on my channel. If you're willing to stay a little longer, subscribe. If you think you can handle the next one, I'll see you again. If nobody's watching from the other room.